welcome back to the channel. I'm sure everyone has seen it. It's all over the news, it's all over social media. But we got to have a real conversation about what happened today with Trump. And this is probably going to be one of the most iconic photos most people will ever see in their life. I don't think anyone has ever seen Trump or even someone close to the level of Trump just really, really care about this country, really just put themselves out there. The guy is a millionaire, billionaire, and he doesn't even have to like run. And he's running because he is protecting the country. One of the most profound things Trump has ever said, and in one of his many speeches, he has said that they are coming after you. I am just in the way. And that's so important nowadays. And after seeing what happened today, this is exactly why they don't want Trump to stay in the office or even get back into the office, because once he's back in the office, he's got a clean house. Even with I know this the so the I know the Secret Service were there and they protected him, but there were some flaws there. There's some things that need to be discussed on the Secret Service side. This is something that should have been able to happen. I've never thought once at one point that Trump would like this would happen to Trump. I knew they had a problem with Trump, but I didn't think they would go as this far, these extreme leftists, as well as the mainstream media, because they did their part by radicalizing these people. A lot of these people, they have the same talking points and they repeat it over and over and over again. Just like the whole Project 25 thing. They've tried so hard to link these these lies to Trump, is that you got some of these idiots, some of these people that, hey, I think I'm gonna do my part, and they go another level. And this is the thing that has been we people, and not even me, because I just got into this whole YouTube game, but there have been other people that have been sounding this stuff off. And what happens to their voices? They are silenced. This is something that YouTube does and other social media platforms. The only place you're not as silenced, or you won't be as silenced as much, is actually on the X platform. But you know, this is I don't think we could have ever seen a better photo op, because this exemplifies exactly why Trump is running for office, and is why he needs to run for office and get back into the office, though, because Biden is destroying this country, and the mainstream media is going along with him. They're also radicalizing people. Like, we still got November. This is just July. So once November gets here, who knows what'll happen, because at this point, nothing is off the table, apparently. Now, this is Trump's response from Truth Social. I'm glad he gave a shout out to the Secret Service. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about the Secret Service, though, but he seems to be in good spirits. I don't know if he lost a piece of his ear, though, but it does look like that, though. So, maybe they'll do some reconstruction surgery on his ear, or maybe he'll just keep it that way. Like, either way, Trump came pretty close. Like, when I saw the video, actually, I just got on X and I saw it trending, and I was like, really, that happened? Like, that can't be it. And to watch the video, and it happened like maybe 5 minutes ago after I saw the initial video. And it was just one of those things that you just couldn't believe it, because how is it possible in 2024 that some people are still stupid enough to want to go after a president, especially a former president and potential and a candidate? Because even at this level, if Trump, if he never was president or was someone else, they would still have Secret Service detail, and how the Secret Service, how they missed some key things that led up to this. Is they're going to have to do some investigation, massive investigations. But I think they need to do those investigations once Trump's in the office, because a lot of these people need to be replaced. We don't know what level of complicit. At the worst, or at the best, they were negligent. At worst, it was an inside job. And it's starting to look, lean a little bit more towards inside job, negligent inside job. But there's a lot of things that need to be discussed, a lot of things that need to be, investigated thoroughly, because I don't trust, even with some of the Republicans that, are calling for action. I can't trust that you guys that are, I mean, how do I know that you guys are not secretly behind the scenes, saddened by, what didn't happen? Because what even like even towards Trump, even during Trump's term, there were a lot of people that just got in his way on the Republican side. And even with this, upcoming election, you got a lot of defectors out there that still have a problem with Trump. I don't know what America people want to live in, but the America that's people are living in thinks it's okay to go after a former uh, president. And let's look at the next one. And this is an this is an amazing meme right here. I don't know if somebody's gonna put that on t-shirts though, but there's your $1 million idea. I've never seen this, so if it is on a t-shirt, go buy one because I'm definitely gonna try to get this on a t-shirt. And this is a eyewitness video. I'm gonna play a little bit of it.
Just take me back. What were you doing before the shooting happened, and then what did you see and hear?
I was just hanging, standing there like everybody else, waiting for Trump. And as Trump started, I noticed two officers that were looking for something or somebody. I was looking around myself and seeing a guy on top of one of the buildings go in between one building to the next, and went and told the officer that he was up there. And when I went back to my spot, I heard that people could still see the person from where they were standing. So I checked that out, and I went back to tell the officer that if he came over there, he could see them. And when I turned my back is when the shots started, and then it took me a second or two to figure out exactly what it was. And then it was just getting out of there and helping some other person out with her child, and we got out, and that was the end of that. And I went and left.
And that was the second interview that I saw where someone said they had told law enforcement or the Secret Service that there's a suspicious individual on top of one of the buildings. And I want to say I have a picture here, and again, this is all from Twitter, so you all are X. So you have to remember, like, new information is coming out, and if this is to be true, which I've seen a lot of consistent, truthful information on this X user, so go ahead, give them a follow. But when it comes to when it's like this ladder was down and they decided not to do anything about this, again, heads are going to have to roll. There's no way. There's no one. There's no way the Secret Service director can keep her job. And so we're going to talk about her really quickly, but a little bit later on. But there's no way, because not only did this person, and I want to say it was 150 yards as well too. So you got 150 yards between where the shooter was and also Trump. And then no one thought it was no one. They decided, I don't know what the actual footage on the perimeter was, but they obviously didn't go too far back. Maybe they went about 50 yards back or something. But luckily for Trump, and just in the grace of God as well too, because that bullet came so close, it like it hit his ear, but more went past him. And I want to say someone else, just another supporter that's out there trying to do what's best for the country and support the candidate that can help the country. She lost her life, and so the media better be covering the person that lost her life as well too, and then also be covering this person, whoever the guy was, whoever the shooter was. Like, they better turn his life upside down. And the other thing too is, also, people on X and independent, news sources, they're definitely going to be looking into this as well too, though, because you can't trust what the media is going to tell us now, because we're at that point where the media has been complicit in the conversations that pertaining to Trump. They have called Trump everything. They said democracy on the line. They've called this man Hitler. They made vicious lies about Trump. And they've almost mobilized, they've radicalized people to go out there and do something or take the justice in their own hands. And so with everything that's happened to Trump, they've thrown one more element out there to be some type of issue for Trump. And this is unfortunate though, because again, this is not the America that I grew up in. I would never have thought that this would have happened to, a sitting or a former president. This just baffles and blows my mind. And this Twitter handle is Cat Turd, posts a lot of crazy, funny stuff. But he's absolutely right about the people that are, that have had consistent rhetoric against Trump. They've consistently came out and said multiple lies, and they have tried to mobilize, all the liberals out there and progressives to actually do something more than just be at home and just hit a like. Because we saw this during the BLM riots where we had elected officials telling people go out there and make noise and cause some type of chaos, but they were like, well, don't hurt anybody, but do some type of chaos, especially when the Derek Chauvin thing was happening. If Derek Chauvin had been found not guilty, I think they would have, started BLM riots part two. But again, you had like people like Maxine Waters tell people go out there and be a problem. You had people when they overturned Roe v. Wade. I don't know if it was Maxine, might have been Maxine, but it was another Democrat that pretty much said you need to go to these justices' homes and protest and let them know that you are angry with their decision about overturning Roe v. Wade. And again, these are people, these are elected officials saying stuff like this. And so, you got some elected officials on here too. But again, you have a lot of people on here that have created so much rhetoric or have tried to say so many things, negative things about Trump, is that these radicals, they don't know the difference. They don't know like what they're doing, or, they don't know, they think they're doing the right thing. And they think even with this shooter, we're gonna find out more stuff about them. But you got people that are on the side of, like, I can't even say it what they feel about the shooter, but it's just disgusting. It's just terrible. And this is the country that we live in, that people, they believe Trump is their biggest problem. No, when you start doing stuff like this against the president, you got a whole system that is doing the same thing about the president. Especially, I can't wait to see what the View says and Morning Joe. These two people, these two shows, they're the worst when it comes to Trump rhetoric. Also, Nancy Pelosi too.
Good morning, Congresswoman. You said the other day that millions of people would die if Donald Trump got reelected.
What did I say?
What millions of people would die if Donald Trump got reelected? What's up with that? What proof do you have to say something like that?
Oh my goodness. Who would say anything bad about Trump? Nobody would say anything bad about Trump. Why did you say bad things about Trump?
I mean, you just can't say people are gonna die. You're a really powerful woman, so like when you say things like that, people get really scared.
No, what I said was Bannon told Trump that the way to win is you gotta play the race card. You just talk about race and you'll win. That's what Bannon said.
Well, the article said you said millions of people would die, and I pulled the clip.
Thousands, maybe millions of people, being threatened and being at risk because of Donald Trump.
So you didn't say that. Video doesn't lie, Congresswoman.
No. What we said was what Bannon said.
I don't think so.
I said so.
Yeah, just receipts there, just blatant lying. And I know a few like Democrats and liberals will just, hey, no big deal here. And they'll say like, well, Trump said way worse or something like that. Again, these are the folks that have radicalized these people that just don't know any better. And they're listening to, all the mainstream media news, all the Democrats pretty much stoke stoke the seeds of I want to say revenge or something, but these folks, they're they need to be held accountable as well too. Like at the end of the day, they're responsible just as much as the shooter. I know everybody gonna be like, well, you didn't pull the trigger. They might as well have. Let this been someone that was involved in an assisted, deletion or something. They're gonna hold that person accountable as well too. In the court of law, they will.
I will go and take Trump out tonight. I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Yeah, this is I think she was at the Essence Festival or something, but again, Maxine Waters, she has said a lot of things that just gets swept under the rug like it's no big deal. And she's not the only person that has said some egregious things against Trump as well too. This is another person that has some terrible rhetoric about Trump.
A lot of people have tried to draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler and the use of the terminology like vermin and the drive that those men had towards autocracy and dictatorship. The difference, though, I think makes Donald Trump even more dangerous, and that is he has no philosophy he believes in. He is not trying to expand the boundaries of the United States of America. He's not trying to overcome a neighboring country like Putin is in Ukraine. He is not going for some grandiose scheme of international dominance. All he wants is to look in the mirror and see a guy who's president. All he cares about is selfish self-promotion. That's the only philosophy he has, which makes him even more dangerous because he has actually said out loud that it would be okay to terminate the Constitution to keep him in power. He said this. He actually said those words. And the irony is all of these supposed conservative folks that have populated the Republican Party all stood around and with their thumb in their mouth going, well, yeah, okay, I guess so.
Now, and again, this is something that, again, I just saw that. I don't know if Trump or if Biden really said that, but if he did say that, that's even more of a reason. Actually, I think he did say that. I saw that trending for a little bit. But, you know, even with this senator, I mean, we have too many elected officials coming out and saying very egregious things, and they're not being held responsible for stuff like this. Not at all, not one bit. You have this person, Colorado state rep, you know, tweeting this out, and that's what I don't understand. Why are y'all tweeting? Y'all can't just do thoughts and prayers like you do with any other mass shooting. Like you had to put something like this out there in the world. And this guy's probably not worried about losing his seat, though. But this is what we're working with. This is what we have to. This is what we have to go up against. Trump has to go up against people every single day. This is why independent media news. This is why independent media news matters. This is why folks that get on YouTube, you got to get on your social media platforms. You got to get this message out. You're going to lose friends, but at the end of the day, you're doing what's in the best interest of the country. And if people are going to get mad at you because you're tweeting stuff about Trump or you're posting things about Trump, so be it. This is where there used to be a time where you could say, hey, I vote for this candidate, you're for this candidate. Nowadays, they try to cancel you. They try to get you fired. They try to, you know, mess with your money, mess with your family. This is ridiculous. We're at the time period where people are trying to go after the president. Like, I don't know how many more examples people are going to need. I don't know what people think, like, hey, you know, this was kind of an outlier, you know, has nothing to do with liberals or radical liberals. No. This has been brewing since the BLM riots, and then it spun off into the Roe v. Wade riots, and then it spun off into the Palestine riots and everything. And now we're here. The media did nothing with discussing. They said mostly peaceful riots. They tried not to cover the Roe v. Wade riots. They tried not to cover the Palestine riots. That stuff all happened, and most American people don't know that stuff happened because they suppressed it. They don't cover that stuff. Why would they cover that stuff? Because they know that the leftists and the progressives and the moderates, they're all attacking each other, and it would look very bad for the Democratic Party if you had all these lunatics running around just doing all these chaotic things. And, you know, luckily for the internet, you know, people are getting out there and posting, you know, their thoughts. They're posting, you know, videos. They're keeping receipts. And we got to keep doing this. Even for myself, though, I was planning to do a video today, and then this Trump stuff happened. I was like, yeah, I got to cover this. I got to have a conversation about this, because if we don't, it just sits there and no one is. Again, Trump is going against a huge machine, and it's up to people like us to get out there and, you know, get our voices heard. And then these are just some other idiots.
That shit was more staged than a Tyler Perry.
And these are more people like Amanda Seales is a washed up actress. And so she obviously is going to, you know, go along the lines with saying stage. And also, again, if somebody's saying something is stage, you already know they're an idiot. So, you know, that's the litmus test right there. If they're saying it's stage, they're an idiot. So unless you got some type of proof, or like the guy purposely just got himself unalived because he just drew the short straw. These people are just idiots. They need medicine, and they've just been taking stupid pills.
A production of Medea Runs for President. I lived in Harlem long enough to know that gunshots do not sound like
Because Amanda Seales is a gun expert, so there's that.
making popcorn on the stove. Where'd the blood come from? So in theater, in
All right, I can't go. This is how idiotic she is. Like, again, she's washed. She's she's a self-proclaimed autistic person, and never been diagnosed, though never saw a doctor, but she says she does autism, and she's also being canceled from the Black community for being stupid or something. Like, there's just too many of these actors and actresses, and any type of celebrity that's getting out here pushing this nonsense, just rhetoric, these terrible things, these lies that about Trump. These are people that you already know where they're at, so they need to be called out. They need to be called out, and these are the people that we don't need to, like, give any more of our dollars. Now, for Amanda Seales, she's not even acting anymore, so she's just, like I said, she's washed. So she's only getting screen time on here, but I'm sure she's getting ratioed in the comments on that post. This is another person that just gets on there and just says, "Hey, I think this is okay." I'm sure she'll be getting a visit from the FBI. And then this idiot, let me see if there's any music on here.
We don't miss that. We don't miss those. Come on, man.
Yeah, this is that generation that's openly advocating for the deletion of a president. Now on TikTok, you can't even have a real conversation on TikTok. But if it's advocating for something against Trump, it's open season. Advocating against like a Black conservative, open season. Advocating things against men, no matter what it is, it's open season. But let them say something about either a Black woman or a woman. Say something about sometimes other Democrats. These guys are already blocking people. They're 100% blocking people. And again, this guy, he hasn't turned off his comments. This other chick, she turned off her comments. Actually, I don't think it was her. I think it was this person. She turned off her comments. She said some egregious things as well too.
Just found out about this shit. It just happened. I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the...
Yeah. Again, she's already privated her accounts because she is getting massive backlash, as she rightfully should. These are the conversations. These are the things that people need to be doing, because this is what the left does. This is what progressives do. This is what liberals do. This is what Democrats do. They create this army to mass report your videos or your comments, and then they try to get you booted off the platform or banned for a few days, or at least mess with your money when it comes to getting monetized. And you got to start reporting these people. You got to start reporting them when they're openly advocating for the destruction of another human, let alone the president. All right, now we're at the we are at the Secret Service portion of the show, and this is Kimberly Cheadle. Now, for most people, I don't think they even knew she was the secret director of the Secret Service. But if you scroll down, this is taken right off of the Secret Service website. Prior to her appointment, Mrs. Cheadle served as a senior director in global security at PepsiCo, where she was responsible for directing and implementing security protocols for the company's facilities in North America. Her role at PepsiCo involved developing a risk management assessment and risk mitigation. So Miss Kimberly Cheadle, who was appointed by Biden, was given one of the most important positions when it comes to protecting the president and protecting ex-presidents. This person who worked at PepsiCo, given the position of working or deciding who gets Secret Service and how much Secret Service. And then from the stories that I've been seeing is that they ask for more Secret Service agents. So again, there needs to be a lot of investigation going on to figure out who was involved and when did people know that there was an issue. And if the Trump team did come out and said, hey, we asked for more security and they can show the receipts, I mean, I believe them already. But if they have receipts showing that they asked for more Secret Service agents and resources, it's going to look extremely bad. I mean, she should be resigning, but it's going to look extremely bad on Biden because at the end of the day, she's reporting to the White House. So if she just didn't give up more resources, because here's the thing, Trump is a ex-president, so he already gets Secret Service. And this late in the game, he's also getting Secret Service detail as an elected candidate, though. This is kind of what happened with one of the Kennedys. I forget the Kennedy that he was assassinated, but they didn't give him Secret Service. So and after he passed away, he was given Secret Service, or they started giving Secret Service detail to candidates that were pretty close in the election process. So, but he should have way more Secret Service resources. But again, if she turned down resources for Trump's Secret Service team, then she needs to resign and she needs to be brought up on charges as well too. Negligence is just a start, but then also how involved were other people with figuring out if he should be given Secret Service, Trump should be given more Secret Service resources. And then this is a interesting clip that was floating around about the January 6th conversation, though, because what a lot of people do not know, or they weren't told this because the media just blatantly just hid all this information, suppressed it, and buried it. But they deleted tons of footage and also text messages related to January 6th.
28-year veteran was on the team that evacuated Vice President Dick Cheney on 9/11, and she served on then Vice President Biden's protective detail. He named her director in mid-2022. Amid a swirl of controversy over the agency deleting nearly all of its text messages from January 6th. The agency says that was due to a data migration.
System migrations happen, but I think for a lot of Americans, it just doesn't pass the smell test, given the timing and the volume of messages deleted.
Well, it's unfortunate that would be the assumption that people would make. Our integrity is everything, and there was nothing nefarious attached to that.
Their integrity has...
their integrity is trash now. Again, when Trump gets in the office, he's got a clean house. He's got to top to bottom. People got to go. If you're part of the last administration or you had something to do with the last administration, you got to go. He's got to get a lot of his own people. And that's the one thing that if you had to give Trump any criticism during his first election, and I'm sure some people will probably find more, but one of the main criticisms is that Trump didn't clean house. He was trying to, he essentially let people kind of stay there. And unfortunately, this kind of bit him because they all turned on him, especially with these fake fictitious charges that they're trying to put on Trump. And, you're asking for Republicans to make sure they have your back for you, and they don't. And so a lot of these people, they got to go. They got to get primaried out. They got to lose their seats. They also got to be brought up on criminal charges as well, too. Because this stuff, they did it with Trump. What makes you think they won't do it for the next Republican candidate? Like, there's not a world where I would have thought that they would do such egregious things to a political rival, and they have overplayed their hand. They're part of the reason why some of these activists are out of control now. And so it was fun and fine and dandy when they were going after Trump, but now that they're going after Biden because of the whole Gaza thing and the LGBT BS, and there's a ton of things that they have, they've created this monster and they can't control it anymore. And so a lot of these people, again, there needs to be criminal charges on them. And then these are just some of the stuff that I saw trending. And this is 100% accurate as well too. I mean, even for Trump, again, he doesn't have to do this. He had a successful life. He could have just been at home. I mean, he's got his amazing looking wife. He doesn't have to do any of this stuff. And you got people out here that are thinking that, you know, Trump's in it for himself, blah, blah, blah. How? He got all these things against him. And then today, somebody tries to take a shot at him. Again, if he want to get out of it, if Trump said, hey, you know what? I want to live, you know, I want to live the rest of my years without all this stuff. And he walked away right now. I wouldn't blame him. Because a lot of us are late to the party. I was late to Trump, and I wouldn't blame him if he, you know, he walked away like right now. I would not blame him. But this guy, again, like I said, they're going after us, and Trump's just in the way. Once Trump, I mean, this is why they're working hard to get rid of Trump. This is the reason why they're working hard to get rid of him. They're trying to throw anything against him. They will break the Constitution. They will, you know, break laws. They will make up laws or crimes against Trump. They'll do everything they can to get Trump removed, discredited, jailed, and, you know, after today, potential, you know, this potential deletion. And this guy actually clipped Trump. Had Trump like not moved his head, this would have been a disaster. This would have been a terrible story. And I would have never thought we would come to something like this, but here we are. So, you know, I hope everyone's just, you know, enjoying the channel and enjoying, you know, like, you know, I want to make sure you're enjoying the content as well too, but also you got to get out there and start posting videos and making sure your voice is heard, because if the majority of us are not saying anything or we're just resharing and liking stuff, then that voice is not gonna, the voice for, you know, MAGA and, you know, Trump, it's gonna be it's gonna be you know, it's gonna be small. And the more we get our voices out there, the more we can have the conversation about why Trump is being vilified on mainstream media. Like, because we can hold these people accountable. Like, how many times have we seen organizations put a post out there, or news media put a post out there and then correct it? I mean, they correct it eventually, but we have to stay on it. We have to be out there and, you know, calling this BS out. And so, you know, get out there. This is what you need. If you need more suggestions or reasons why you should do a YouTube channel and start being a little more active on social media, this is it. Because this is only, I mean, this is just July. Wait till November gets here, or get closer to November. It's going to be chaos. And the RNC convention is next week, and we're going to hear about Trump's VP pick. I mean, we got a lot of things going on, and this potential deletion, this was just, it was really bad though, because we literally came this close to losing Trump today. And I'm telling you right now, I felt a real sadness, because if we would have lost Trump, the U.S. would have been doomed. And I'm glad that, you know, he's going to be able to walk away from this. I'm glad that when he went down, he got back up. He did a fist pump. I'm glad that, you know, that first picture that I had up here, you got to put this on a T-shirt, and people got to start wearing this stuff proud. Like, this probably encapsulates what we, you know, how we feel about America. And so this is a litmus test. People got a problem with this. Those are not people you want to, like, you know, operate with or work with. You just can't. It's past that now. So, all right, gonna wrap this up. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for some other stuff. Feel free to like and share and support the channel.